Today's a WRAL weather alert day. Our heat index is likely to be well into the triple digits. I'll show you what it will feel like where you are and why we'll see so many days in a row.
And breaking news, searching for a suspect. Raleigh police investigating after 3 people were stabbed on New Hope Church Road. The WRAL breaking news tracker is on the scene as officers work to make an arrest.
And a truck in Johnston County crashes into a home. A family wakes up overnight and sees this after that truck crashed into their house. How they're doing and the charges the driver's facing.
Plus, Middle East conflict. People across the country and in the Triangle are bracing for the potential impacts stemming from the U.S. strikes against Iran. What experts are saying to be on the lookout for. Thank you so much for joining us here on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. I'm Michelle McConaughey in for an A2.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making this part of your routine here. Yeah, as we get this June 23rd started. I mean, look at this Car Lake.
Yeah.
It is so beautiful out there.
Beautiful.
What a great start there. But the heat is on already and get ready for it all week long, Elizabeth.
Yes, we have a heat advisory that goes into effect at 11 o'clock today. It's going to feel like 104 to 109 across our entire viewing area. And then we'll copy and paste that for the next 3 to 7 days. So our peak heat index again, 102 to 109, 110 for most of the week, maybe even a little higher than that in a few spots, all of central North Carolina. Hour by hour, the dew points are going to stay high. So in the 70s is where we have lots of moisture in the atmosphere, and your body just has a hard time cooling itself. If we don't have as much moisture in the atmosphere, the sweat on your skin evaporates pretty rapidly, cools you down. You don't have that when you have so much moisture already in the atmosphere. There's nowhere for that sweat to go. Look at how fast we warm things up. This is our forecast high. This is not the heat index. It's going to be 95 at lunchtime, and we'll see a high of 100 degrees later on this afternoon. Now, again, today we have a heat advisory. Tomorrow and Wednesday, we have an excessive heat watch. We'll talk about what that means, of course, and a little bit of a change in the pattern by Wednesday where we could be back to some showers and storms. I'll show you, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We got a couple of crashes really dotting a live traffic map this morning. Really and truly, this is South Person Street near Hoke Street, not far from Hammond Road. A lot of you live in this particular neighborhood. You probably will see some police activity, but not affecting your morning commute in terms of any major routes. Now, this crash on I-40 eastbound at Gorman Street is being reported. Right now, it's Gorman Street is in this vicinity right here, but clearly these are the eastbound lanes, and it's not really affecting traffic in those eastbound lanes or the westbound lanes for that matter. But really and truly, all the major routes are relatively delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. And breaking news in the last 20 minutes, Raleigh police officers left the scene of a stabbing where 3 men were hurt. WRAL's Ali Calabar is at that scene on New Hope Church Road. Ali police still working to make an arrest.
Yes, Michelle, and officers just told me that they've gathered information on a suspect, on a possible suspect, but of course this is still under investigation. And just about 15 minutes ago, this whole section around at this nightclub was blocked off with police tape. But take a look at this video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. This was around 3 a.m. Officers tell me they found 2 men with stab wounds in front of the nightclub on New Hope Church Road. They found another man hurt a block away. Police tell me the victim's injuries were not deadly. Now, they were out here for about 3 hours investigating, taking pictures, of shining a flashlight, trying to figure out who this possible suspect is. Of course, we are still working to learn what led up to this stabbing. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Candavar, WRAL News.
And this morning, a family in Johnston County woke up to this truck in their home. The WRAL breaking news tracker took this video on NC Highway 96, just north of Selma, after midnight. The brick home was pushed away from its foundation, leaving it heavily damaged and deemed unsafe by building inspectors. The driver was taken to the hospital. Highway Patrol charged the driver with DWI, an open container violation, reckless driving, and failure to maintain lane control.
As temperatures are expected to hover around 100 degrees over the next few days, it is important to remember to stay safe in the extreme heat. WRAL's Laura Levine is live at Lake Johnson this morning. And Laura, I know folks will be out there getting their workouts in early, but what should they keep in mind as these temperatures climb throughout the morning and afternoon?
Well, Jeff, good morning. On a nice summer day like this, many people are eager to get outdoors and enjoy their local parks like Lake Johnson here. We're already beginning to see people out on the water paddling. But listen, the temperatures, when they reach more than 90 degrees, there is that serious threat for heat illness. So that's why doctors are recommending at this time to limit your time outdoors, especially exercising between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Heat stroke, heat cramps, and heat exhaustion are possible with prolonged exposure or physical activity. It takes longer for sweat to cool us off when it's this humid out. And if you do decide to take your kids to a local park, it is important to note that in direct sunlight, swings and slides can really get dangerously hot. So, of course, the effects of heat, it's also important to note they are cumulative. So it's important to get ahead of things by staying hydrated now and also limiting your time in the sun. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor things here at the park, talk to some people about how they're deciding to beat the heat this week. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Iran is launching more strikes against Israel just days after the United States launched a series of strikes against Iran over the weekend. At least 18 people were injured in Tel Aviv after several homes were hit. Iranian authorities say more than 400 people have been killed in Israeli strikes. Meanwhile, satellite images show the aftermath of the U.S. strikes that military officials say targeted Iranian nuclear sites. President Trump says significant damage was done below ground level. The State Department is issuing a worldwide travel warning, and world leaders are urging for de-escalation.
Jeff, I want to expand a little bit on what you were just showing there, that overhead map of the strikes in Iran. This is video from Tehran, specifically overnight, and you'll see the dark clouds kind of billowing there. You'll see it go back to this other part in just a second. But this is a result of Israeli strikes overnight. We know now that Russia is saying that it is ready to help Iran. A Kremlin spokesperson said, quote, "Everything depends on what Iran needs. We have offered our mediation efforts. This is concrete." And he also said Russia's stance on the conflict is an important type of assistance the country can provide Iran. Meanwhile, Iranian state TV reports that an Israeli strike hit the gate of an Iranian prison known for holding prisoners in the event they might need it for some kind of prisoner exchange with the West. But Israel is also confirming that it is targeting government targets in Iran.
And reaction from North Carolina leaders at the federal level have been coming in since the attack. Republican U.S. senators and representatives from our state are enthusiastic in their support of the airstrikes in Iran. Meanwhile, Democratic Congresswoman Deborah Ross released a statement calling the strikes both unlawful and unconstitutional. The statement reads in part, "The president did not appropriately consult Congress, let alone seek authorization for the attack. These strikes also risk entangling the U.S. in another costly war in the Middle East, something Donald Trump explicitly and repeatedly told the American people he would avoid. At this moment of uncertainty, our top priority must be protecting American military and diplomatic personnel in the region."
And experts here in the U.S. are in agreement that the strike against Iran has pushed this conflict to a new level, one that could hit our wallets here in North Carolina. Oil prices have surged after Iran's parliament threatened to shut down the Straits of Hormuz. That's a narrow waterway there that carries about a fifth of the world's crude oil production. Now, while UNC political science professor Navin Babbitt says this conflict is unlikely to reach U.S. soil, a decision to shut down the waterway, though, could result in more than just higher gas prices. Everyday costs could go up as well.
If oil prices go up, that tends to increase the price of everything, including food and medicine. So those are real concerns, I think, that Americans should have if this continues to escalate.
And AAA says every $10 jump in a barrel of crude oil does roughly add 25 cents to a gallon of gas. If the strait closes, drivers could feel it at the pump within days.
And new gas price data released at 3 a.m. by AAA shows an increase over the last week. The national average is around $3.22. That's up 8 cents from a week ago. In North Carolina, gas has crept up about 7 cents since last week. The current statewide average is $2.93.
We're working right now to find out new information about this large state trooper presence on US 1 near Colon Road in Lee County. The video shows it appears to be the end of a chase there, and we're reaching out to Highway Patrol to confirm what happened leading up to that scene.
A woman was killed. 2 other people were hurt in a shooting at a large birthday party in Harnett County. Deputies say it happened Saturday night on Bethea Road near Lillington. More than 200 people were at the gathering. Witnesses say there was an argument that led up to that shooting. It is unclear if more than one person fired shots. Police say the suspects left before authorities arrived. No identities have been released yet.
Developing overnight, police in Oklahoma City are investigating a shooting that took place shortly after the Thunder won Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Police say one person suffered non-life-threatening injuries in that shooting near the Paycom Center in OKC. Authorities believe it may have stemmed from a fight, and one person has been detained.
Durham chipmaker Wolfspeed has revealed its plan to reorganize under bankruptcy protection. The company says this plan would wipe out roughly 70% of its $6.6 billion overall debt. The proposal would give Wolfspeed's creditors control of the company. CEO Robert Furel says Wolfspeed's biggest lenders are already on board, and he's confident that others will join as well. If Wolfspeed's proposal gets the green light, he believes the company will emerge from Chapter 11 bankruptcy by the end of September and be in a strong position. The company has been struggling for several reasons: lower demand for semiconductors, the company moving to newer manufacturing facilities, and the Trump administration is opposed to the Biden-era Chips and Science Act. The company's share price has dropped 96% in the past year. Well, time now is 6:10. Coming up next, deadly tornado. 3 people are dead after storms hit upstate New York. The damage left behind and what officials are saying about the severe weather.
In a budget battle, the U.S. Senate is expected to take up President Trump's big, beautiful bill. What we can expect from Capitol Hill this week.
And our heat advisory today goes into effect at 11 o'clock. You might be surprised at just how fast our temperatures will warm up today. I'll show you how many more days will feel like this coming up. .13, we have clear skies here in downtown Raleigh, and you can see from our GBV camera down Fayetteville Street, it's going to be a very sunny day for today. It's going to allow our temperatures to really warm up dramatically. Still in the 60s in Roxborough, but Roxborough is not immune to the heat that we'll see. It's going to feel like 105 there this afternoon. It'll feel like 106 to 108, 109 in some other places this afternoon. Fayetteville right now at 75, 74 in Garner, 76 in Cary. So for the most part, it's a very warm start. Look how fast it feels hot. It feels like 70s now, but by lunchtime, it'll already feel like 98. And then by 2 o'clock, 106. So you really have to be careful this afternoon. You don't want to be doing anything outside. If you're trying to walk the dog or get out for some exercise in the evening, at 8 p.m., it could still feel like 104. So even trying to head to the pool this afternoon, it may be too hot. We'll see a high officially of 100. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. We're starting outside, giving you a live look at I-40 and Aviation Parkway. Traffic is beginning to pick up just a little bit, but you can see flowing nicely in all directions. That's just one of the routes heading into RDU International. For those of you planning a business trip, maybe a leisurely trip as well, getting ready to head to the airport. All the major routes to and from RDU International delay-free at this hour. But really and truly, we just have a couple of incidents being reported now for first responders, but none affecting any of our major routes. And coming up in less than 5 minutes, Jeff, I'll have another update on your morning commute.
All right, Ken, thanks for that. 3 people are dead in upstate New York after a tornado tore through a small town over the weekend. A tornado caused a tree to rip right through a home, killing 6-year-old twin sisters while they slept. About 2 blocks away, a 50-year-old woman was killed after a tree crushed the back end of her home. The National Weather Service confirmed that area was hit by an EF1 tornado.
Work to permanently replace bridges destroyed by Helene has started at the Baxter Healthcare Facility in McDowell County. The plant supplies 60% of the nation's IV bags. It had to temporarily shut down in September because of Helene flooding damage. The State Department of Transportation says contract crews plan to have the permanent bridge built by Halloween. They will remove the temporary bridge by Thanksgiving.
North Carolina Forest Service is celebrating a new annual record for its longleaf pine management. The state did prescribed burns on more than 120,000 acres of longleaf pine forest in the state. That's the 4th record-breaking year in a row. And it is important because those planned fires help to reduce the severity of wildfires when they break out.
And happening this week, Wake County school leaders expect to discuss and vote on a school meal price hike. The school board has been raising meal prices each year as the cost of service has risen. Some school board members have said they do not want to raise prices, but are willing to consider it. It would raise the 25 cents per meal. That would be about $44 more per student per year if they buy only lunch every day. A work session is scheduled tomorrow afternoon for 2:30. The meeting and vote starts at 5:30.
The U.S. Senate is expected to take up President Donald Trump's spending bill this week, and lawmakers are expected to hold a test vote on the president's plan, dubbed the Big Beautiful Bill. This spending plan extends tax cuts from his first term and increases funding for defense and border security. Controversial parts of this plan, though, deep cuts to federal spending and changes to Medicaid. It's unclear if the U.S. military attack in Iran over the weekend will affect the plans to take up that bill.
And we are in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a beautiful live look from our Garner Tower. Beautiful sunrise, but it is going to be very hot. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner is on her way to tell us about this WRAL Weather Alert Day because of this dangerous heat that we're getting, Elizabeth.
Yeah, all this clear sky looks beautiful right now, but it is going to make for a dangerous situation, not just today, but for the entire week. It will be a little bit hotter for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And then after Wednesday, we may have a better chance of some thunderstorms, but it's really not going to cool us off that much. Why are we so hot? Why is it going to stick around so long? It's all due to this high pressure system. High pressure systems sit over us and create sinking air. It's often tough for storms to develop when we have sinking air. We need rising air. Well, that sinking air compresses and heats and becomes a heat dome that sits over us. And so that started to develop over the weekend, and it looks like it doesn't really break down until maybe sometime next week. Take a look at how fast our temperatures warm up. This is a look at the heat index. It's going to feel like 98 by lunchtime. So right now we don't have much of a heat index. Feels like 70s, but very quickly it warms up. And then we'll be, 106 or hotter from 2 p.m. all the way through at least 8 p.m. So you think you'll wait until you get home from work. It is not going to feel that much cooler. Well into the evening, it'll be in the triple digits in terms of the heat index. So heat advisory is in effect from now all the way through tonight into 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, where we may end up with an excessive heat warning for tomorrow. Right now, it's an excessive heat watch. We'll let you know what happens. But the entire viewing area, heat advisory for today, feeling like 108 in the Triangle, 113 tomorrow, 107 on Wednesday, 105 Thursday, 106 on Friday. So it just keeps on coming. Now, you're going to have to walk the dog this evening, right? So make sure you do it on the grass. The concrete can reach 120 degrees this afternoon and evening, and the ground temperature there on the asphalt can reach 145. So just watch out for those paws. Now, we will see a little bit of a change starting Wednesday. A low pressure system begins to build in. It's going to bring us a small chance for thunderstorms. Still going to be very hot, but we do get into a chance of rain, especially from Raleigh westward. So watering forecast, it's just a 30% chance Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you do have a garden, you're probably going to want to be watering it during this time just because it's going to be so hot. Wednesday, we already have a level 1 risk for severe storms from the Triangle area southward. And really the first thing that we're watching in the tropics, 70% chance that could develop, but it's likely to stay out in the Atlantic. So again, a very intense heat for us all the way into the weekend. Coming up, we're going to talk about which days could put us near records, but it's really that heat index that we're so worried about, Ken.
Dangerous heat out there, Elizabeth. Thanks. Hey, we just got a couple of incidents dotting our live traffic sensors this morning in terms of this crash on Person Street. This is south of downtown near Hammond Road. It's in the neighborhood area, not really causing any problems for you in terms of major routes. As far as major routes is concerned, this one at I-40 eastbound there, just near the Gorman Street exit, we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in that particular area. I'll keep an eye on that and let you know how much that's going to affect your morning commute. But this is a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Right now, these are the eastbound lanes coming toward us, so we're not seeing any delays in terms of that crash affecting your morning commute in that particular area. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Thanks, Ken. Still ahead this hour, an iconic landmark is reopening. Chimney Rock State Park is welcoming back visitors this week. When you can plan your trip and how to make sure you can get into the park.
And safe online purchases. Websites like Facebook Marketplace make it easy to buy, sell, and trade items. But when it comes to the exchange, there are a few things you can do to ensure a safer in-person transaction. 5 on your side, it shares the 5 steps to take when buying or selling.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
An NBA team is celebrating a championship, and music legends are getting together to remake a classic song.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending on Monday morning. Hey, Ken.
Yeah, listen, let's start with the NBA champions. We're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder winning their first NBA title ever. The Thunder defeated the Indiana Pacers 103-91 in Game 7 of the NBA Finals last night. SGA took home the Finals MVP award.
And Seattle Supersonics were the original team before they moved to Oklahoma City. They won the title in 1979. But when they moved there in 2008 in OKC, they haven't won anything.
That's a pretty trophy, too.
Bring it home.
Right, let's go. World champs.
So check this out. Dolly Parton teaming up with Motley Crue for a new version of the hit song Home Sweet Home. Crank it up. Let's hear it. The new single is for a good cause. The profits benefit Covenant House, which provides food and shelter to young people experiencing homelessness.
Wow. I mean, it's so great for the two of them to collab on something. Motley Crue calling this a career high for them. As far as Dolly, this is not the first time she's partnered with, like, a famous rock band, but she said that this was just so great because it's such a classic song. So to be able to get together with them and do that was just, it meant so much to her.
Didn't Dolly put out a rock album recently? A few years ago?
Did they? Perhaps. You might be right
I think
on
Dolly
that.
Parton did, yeah.
Natural
She can rock
pairing.
on.
Very cool. Thanks, Ken. Well, a new WRAL documentary investigates the alarming trend of cancer happening more often in young people. Diagnosis Young, the new face of cancer in North Carolina, explores who this is happening to and why. The WRAL doc team interviewed patients in remission and those fighting cancer right now. They also interviewed doctors and researchers about possible causes, from environmental exposures to ultra-processed foods.
And you have to believe that there's an environmental influence.
So you really think food is a big one?
It's hard to ignore.
And doctors explain the research happening in North Carolina to uncover answers. Diagnosis Young premieres Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on WRAL, WRAL's streaming platforms, and our YouTube channel as well. Well, coming up next, 3 men stabbed. Raleigh police looking for a suspect after a stabbing on New Hope Church Road. What we know about the victims and the search for the person or people who did it.
And beating the heat as the Triangle area braces for hot temperatures to start the week. We are looking at ways that you can stay safe.
And just how hot will it feel? This is our heat index forecast for this afternoon. 108 in Raleigh and Durham, 108 in Clinton, 105 Roxborough, 109 in South Hill. I'll show you the weather pattern that's going to keep this heat around for most of the week.